Hey everyone, today's video is a participation in the discussion started by Rincey Reads about race, gender and diversity in reading. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Rincey uploaded a video a few weeks ago where she talked about race and gender in her books. She looked for the authors she read and discovered that she reads mainly white male authors, and she wanted to change that to branch out more into female authors and authors of color. And recently she uploaded a second video which talks about the responses she got to the first video and which talks about why we should read diversely. After seeing her first video, I thought about my bookshelves, and even though I'm way too lazy to go through all my books and count who has written what and see how many books I have by female authors and male authors and what color they are, I do know that I have been reading a wide variety of books already before I joined BookTube and even more after joining BookTube. In general, I don't think it's a good idea to focus on differences. So I don't agree with her that as a reader we need to make a bigger effort in finding books that are written by female authors of color. But I totally agree that reading diversely is a good thing. When you look at my bookshelves, and if you've known me, you know that I have a pretty erratic collection of books, and I have a pretty erratic way of buying books. If you want to know what my bookshelves looked like before starting BookTube, you can check out my Bookshelf Tuesday playlist, because I went through all the books I have, and those are the books I bought before joining BookTube. And those are the books that I normally found, either through cover buys, which I love. I go into a store and find a cute cover and I pick it up. I hardly ever look at if it's a male author or it's a female author and where the author is from. I really don't care about that. What I'm interested in is the cover, the title, or maybe even the back of the book, which I hardly ever read. Since joining BookTube, I was exposed to a lot more books that I normally wouldn't have found or heard about. I've discovered steampunk, a genre that I highly enjoy and I really love, and dystopian novels have become a bigger part of my bookshelf than they've been before. And also, I found a lot of great adult authors that I haven't heard of before. There are a lot of booktubers here with different interests and different preferences, and I think that is an advantage that we should use. Rincey talks about going out and finding new books and searching for them and making an effort, and I think it's pretty easy here on BookTube because we have readers who read different books, and you just need to find someone who has a similar taste than you do, and if you're lucky, they read different things. For me, Didi from Frenchy D is a great example for this. She reads so many authors that I haven't heard about, and she reads so many books that I've never seen, and I think they're all interesting. And the few that I've had the chance to try already, I liked. So that is branching out for me, and Didi reads a lot of authors of color and female authors, and if you look for that and you really want to branch out into that section, go check out her channel. Why do I think reading diversely is good despite not ever caring about who wrote the book? I think it's interesting to read about places and stories that you wouldn't have the chance to experience yourself. And that's what books are for. They take you into different worlds and outside of your own box. And I do like thinking outside of my own box. I do like to look over the edge and just see what's going on somewhere else. Yes, and sometimes that makes me appreciate my own life and situations more. And at other times it just opens my eyes to things that I haven't heard of before or didn't know of. And I do think that is important in a world that is shrinking ever more and more. But I don't think that we have to make an effort to find books like that, because there is a part that we only like to read books that we are interested in. So yes, there are books that we're interested in that might not be written by white males, and that is important to know. But it's not the most important thing. What's more important is to look into other countries, into other people's minds, and to read something else than only dystopian YA, or only romance novels, or only sci-fi novels, or only historical fiction. For me, reading one genre only is the most boring thing ever. If I read 2 or 3 literary fiction novels, I need to go and read a YA novel or a fantasy novel. If I read 2 or 3 fantasy novels in a row, I need to read something else. I just cannot stick to one genre because I think it's too boring. It's basically the same story over and over again. So that's why I think reading diversely is important, because it's just more interesting. So there you go. Despite not completely supporting Rincey's arguments, I am totally on her side for branching out and reading more diversely. What do you think? Thank you for watching One Book, One Review with Wiebke.